Did the doctors did not make appointments?
I just assumed. I just assumed my name would beep up.
You have to check in.
Yeah. No. I don't.
What can I do for you?
Well, you said we need to book another appointment to talk about, my medical conditions and things like that. Yeah.
So what did you want to discuss?
Well, it was actually you who said this.
Yes, I think we last time we talked about your urine, and then you said you had another few things you wanted to discuss about your medical history, and we didn't have time that day.
Oh, well, yeah, you said we didn't have time, then you said to book another point to discuss, what got me sick in the first place. Oh, yeah, and how police came banging at my door when there's nothing going on.
Yeah.
Is that what you wanted to talk about today?
It was more for you, really, because I think you said you wanted to discuss a few more things, but we just didn't have time at the last appointment.
I thought you'll be controlling the conversation because it was your idea to have another appointment, but, yeah. I was going to say, well, to ask me a question about how I'm sick and stuff like that.
Okay.
Because I'm very pale. Look at my hands, stuff like that.
Is it you're concerned about the fact that you're pale? And
yeah, and I told you that I've got I'm practically sterile now from the moment the injection hit, and what they did was essentially abuse right from the beginning to the end, and also the fact that every time I've been sectioned, I've been on drugs, and they never took that into account. That alleged abuse when I ran away from home, they cover up by saying that it's a delusion that sent me straight back home. If you want to talk about that.
Okay.
You don't think that's a crime?
I'm trying to follow what you're saying. So, which was the crime? The abuse at home was.
Whoa! So the crime is the abuse at home. The crime is sending someone straight back and covering it up.
The police covered it up?
No, I'm not saying the police did. The NHS did. The doctors. They basically contributed to it. If someone runs away from home, talking about how they're being abused, you don't send them straight back with £20 a week for pizza every week. That's not what you do. You send them to a place where they can be safe.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. No, I completely agree with you.
We're going to talk about other things. Then we talk about citizens' advice. I started talking to them about how I should have been getting proper benefits since I was 16, 17, 18, so I can take care of myself. Naturally, she says it's not an issue with DWP. I take up with the NHS. And funnily enough, the only way you can complain about the NHS is to complain to the NHS. And basically I equate that to telling a rape victim that if you've got a problem, you go to your rapist and tell them how mean they are. That doesn't make sense to me. So basically that's what I've been doing. I've been going around telling the truth for once, not because I'm a liar before, but because you're afraid to tell it. So, and also, I don't know about these urinalysis things you've been doing. Can I take another look at that? Because it says, the only ones I've ever had are ones that take 120 seconds to, it says on the thing, 120 seconds. Right. And I've never seen tests like this before, how quickly they show up.
Okay. Alan, I think we're crossing out. We're doing a lot of things in 10 minutes. Can we just stick to maybe?
Well, that happens when you don't direct the conversation. I just have to.
Sure. I'm just trying to get an idea of what you wanted to talk about today, because I think this is what happened last time when there was a lot of things going on. I'm just trying to let's just focus on one thing today. So let's just focus on your abuse at home, or what did you want to talk about today, Alan?
Well, I suppose I'm going to be able to have the blood test again.
Should we talk about the paleness in the hand? Is that what you wanted to talk about?
They're often very discoloured. They're usually quite red. I've also got India on my foot. That's still, I told you before, that flared up.
Blood test form. So you've had some blood tests requested for you?
Yeah. I haven't got those done. I'm going to be getting those done. I think maybe even today.
Okay.
Okay,
it's a walk-in service. You can.
I walk up to town, the general hospital.
Yeah, it's a walk-in. Yeah.
think well, just to recap, what happened last time was I started talking about my problems and stuff like that. And you said to arrange another appointment, but now I've kind of forgotten what the things I was going to talk about were.
So you said you're unhappy with the NHS. Well, no, we didn't get a chance to get into it. So I said you seem to have a lot to want to talk about. So in terms of your past contacts with previous doctors at different surgeries, is that right? So you're a new patient here.
Yeah.
So you were at a different surgery, and you were at that surgery for a while, were you?
Yeah, from the beginning.
Okay, so you were having problems with a particular doctor there,
No,
or
not
just
the
the surgery?
GP, not the GP,
Not the GPs,
but
okay.
the psychiatric team.
Oh, the mental health team.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So what abuse were you having at home?
Well, for starters, like for example, malnutrition and things like that, I was very malnourished at home.
Right.
I mean, if you want to take a glimpse of how things actually are, I mean, they used to say that I was picky and stuff like that, but when I actually started to get fed real food, I rose to like the top leagues at squash. There are some people who have world rankings now, right up to top 25. Lower down people I generally played with were in the top 250 and things like that. And those are the kinds of people that I could match up against.
Right.
That was when I started to get fed properly, when I was 14, 15. I think someone must have had a word with my parents or something like that, because I finally started to get fed properly, and that's when my strength increased massively. But that just goes to show that before I wasn't. And that is a fact, because, well, like I was saying, I was very, very weak, and the moment I started to get fed real food, and it might have been my squash coach, because it might have been, because I remember squash down at HCC, where we would play, and the thing is, I wasn't unfit. It wasn't my lungs that would give way, I would collapse, or anything like that. I was completely run out of energy. I was skin and bone, and I was very skinny, very light. And then at some point, I started to get fed properly for a short time. And during that short time, the speeds at which I ride my bike were absolutely incredible. I would like by 19 miles an hour. That's a similar speed to what Tour de France riders do in mountain stages, although my course is a little bit more flat. But yeah, and that's why I turned into a top squash player. And then of course they started to introduce their own medicine. They started feeding me echinacea, and other things, and I stopped eating properly, not by my own choice. And I remember sometimes screaming when I was younger, screaming for food, and not doing anything about it. So, yeah.
And so you said you were sectioned by how many times are you sectioned?
I don't know, it's various times since I was 16.
Okay, and then they sent you back home.
And that's their point of call, that nothing was wrong, just go back home, right back to where you're being abused, so.
And you said you were on drugs at the time. Was that the echinacea?
Not drugs, not recreational drugs, but either
medication.
Pharmaceutical or herbal or some other form of mind-altering substance.
Prescribed by the GP?
No, that's the thing. I brought this up when I was originally sectioned, because if you look at my behaviour, it has consistency to someone who was under the influence of a substance, and they actually tested me for it, but I never got the results.
So are you under the mental health team at the moment?
Well, technically speaking, I am, but they don't see me. I haven't seen me before. They came to my door once, but they haven't wanted to see me since November, because this is the thing, I started bringing this up,
right,
and they started deciding that they don't want to see me anymore.
So they discharged you in November, didn't
they? No, they just 3 times in a row they basically stood me up for appointments, and then they stopped contact altogether, and then they suddenly show up at my door, saying like they're going to send the police around, even though I haven't spoken to them for months.
Okay.
Even though I've actually been calling them the entire time, saying, what's going on.
Okay. So you last saw them in November?
No, except for the time they came round to my door, which was about the 1st of this month.
Oh, so you saw them recently, a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah, it was completely unannounced, and the thing is, a few days before, I received a letter saying to come around on the 15th of May, to go visit them on the 15th.
Right.
And I was like, fuck it, fine, whatever. And then, I might have called them up instead or whatever, let them know I'm fine. But I just got the letter, 15th of May, something that's like, whatever. And then that letter arrived on about 28th of April, and they turn up on the 1st of May. So trying to send the police, because that was the only contact I'd actually had with them.
Sending the police round for what reason?
They just said we were out of concern.
Because you hadn't responded?
Spoken to them or anything like that. But I had. I record my phone calls now for this very reason.
So what diagnosis have they given you?
Everything. Everything from top to bottom, the whole lot.
Okay. So what's their plan at the moment?
At the moment, I think they're just leaving me alone.
Right. And have they put you on any medication, or?
That's the thing. This is the thing. The medication is what obviously what made me sick. But when they stopped it, I started to get better, and I've been getting better, and I'm much better now.
Okay.
If I take medication again, I'm fucked.
Fine. Okay. So what we need to do then? I will. It takes a while to get some old notes. I think we need your notes to see exactly what's been happening, and only then we can really help them to get a full picture of.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I wanted access to my full medical records, and I asked them repeatedly for that, so I can know what exactly is it they're doing.
Yeah.
They didn't want to give me that either.
Okay. I will email the secretaries now, ask for all your old notes, and say you want access to your full medical records and letters.
Okay.
Would that help?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll then tell you that with me, and I'll do that for you.
I've got one more thing. Can I take a look at those urine kits again? Because I've got my own at home, and they keep showing up positive.
Positive for.
Bilirubin and leukocytes and things like that. Can you see what's different about yours to mine?
Okay. Let's go.
Yeah, I don't think we did it properly last time, because it says here you're supposed to wait 60 seconds and then 60 to 120 seconds. You read it straight out of the sample, this test kit.
Okay, that's fine. If you're happy, we can you can send another. If you make a appointment with a nurse, and they can do another one. All right.
Okay. Do you want to give me the little tube so I can Yeah, because even for glucose, I mean, these are actually even slower than mine.
Okay. Okay. No worries.
Because even the glucose one was like 30 seconds.
There we go.
I don't know. Maybe there's some kind of mistake.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. That's